replay. So welcome, ladies, to Magnetic Money. I keep wanting to say magic money, all these other words, and they all apply. So it's all good. But Magnetic Money, you're here to learn how to create abundance with ease. And it's not just abundance in financially with money, that the process I'm going to take you through, the steps I'm going to show you are the same way of really attracting and manifesting. And manifesting means physically putting anything you want into reality, creating what you desire into your life in health, relationships, love, friendships, a whole range, your business, your audience, like a whole lot of stuff. But I'm going to talk to it through the context of money, but it can apply elsewhere, so that's just letting you know, hey, Gail, good to see you, Dale. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And before we go into the steps and I'm going to reveal as much as I physically can in a 60-minute masterclass. And because you ladies are here live, I've got a gift for you at the end as well, an abundance activation. Now, I will tell you my story, but this very meditation, something I still do today and something I give my clients to do. This was the first 10K month I ever had a few years into my business. It was because of this meditation. And I was a strategy queen, but none of it was working. And then I started doing more of the energy work. This was my first initiation into it. And that's what I'm gifting you. It is super powerful, super powerful. So that's what you're having. But the others as well, I've got heaps of juicy goodness for the people watching the replay too. Watch through to the end also. There's some real great reveals. I'm just going to keep unpacking. And as we unpack, there's going to be, more unfolding, and it all sort of crescendos at the end as well. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So you're welcome, Olga. It's my beautiful gift to you. I often say to my clients, I feel like I have gone through the mud and been in the trenches and done all of this muddy, dirty work, sifting through. I've been 16 years in the psychology counseling space. I've been in 6 years in my business, 8 years in university studying all of this. And I don't know. I don't even know how many coaches I've had by this point. I spent $300,000 on my business. All of the things I'm going to just go here, here's the gold, and go dig here. You don't have to worry about all the other time and money and all the things I've done. Just go to this spot. This is where you do it. So that's what you're going to get out of tonight, I'm hoping. I don't want you to struggle like I did. I struggled. It was hard. It took me a long time, took me a lot of money, and I don't want you to have to go through that because I don't think any woman deserves that. So this is my gift to you. I'm very excited. You're welcome, Gail. So I want to share a little story with you to begin. And it's a story of Miranda and her relationship to money. And you may have heard different versions of my story over the time, but I always like to do them a little bit differently. Oh, thanks, Gails. That's nice. And today I'm going to introduce you to someone who's going to tell the story a little bit differently, just to be for your entertainment, for a bit of a laugh, for a bit of a let's break the ice. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Mabel. Mabel is going to tell you the story of Miranda's money story. And she's stuck in the past. She's stuck in the past. So she's a little bit of an older lady stuck in the past. And so she's going to tell you about how Miranda was stuck in the past. So I'll just introduce you to her. Hang on one second. I'm just going to grab her. One second.
Hello. Oh, hello. My name's Mabel. Miranda got me in here to talk to you just about her journey in money when she was a little tot. So, I'm just going to tell you it for a few minutes and then you're going to learn a lot of things and we'll go from there, okay? Can you hear me okay? Yeah? I can't hear myself very well, so I might yell a little bit. But anyway, when Miranda was a little tot, she grew up in a family and they didn't really think they had a lot of money because her father grew up on a farm and the money went up and down, up and down, up and down. So he used to think there wasn't a lot of money around and he always thought there wasn't enough. So he didn't buy her a lot of presents. She had a birthday. It was around December, near Christmas, and she got presents for her birthday and Christmas, and that was it, And then she just always thought, I don't deserve anything. I just deserve just enough. Oh, yes. That's what she used to think. I normally talk and people laugh, but you aren't. You're all very stale here. So anyway, I'm just going to have to keep going. And so she just kept doing this life, trying to make some money, trying to make a buck. But her whole life, she never could get past her past. She was stuck in her memory of her past. And so her whole life, she thought there was never enough money around. And it didn't matter how much she earned, there was never enough. And it always went slipping through her fingers. It always went slipping. And so she had a job and all the money would go. And then she'd lose her job. Oh, look, I didn't tell you. Her father, when she was younger, lost his job a couple of times, and she remembers that fear. And then she started losing her job sometimes and is really freaking out about money. And so the whole past just kept following her like a shadow. It wouldn't piss off. It wouldn't go away. It just kept repeating all over again. That's what happens. Yes, that's what happens with money. It does it. It's sneaky little bugger. And so she tried to earn money. She tried to get businesses. She tried to do everything. She actually started a business. She started a business 6 years ago. That's, I think of six years. And she went into it thinking it was going to be the freedom, going to be the money, going to make all of this stuff. But you know what? What happened? Can you guess what happened? She didn't make much money, and it kept going up and down, and she'd lose jobs and lose clients, and it was all a bit of a mess. All a bit of a mess. And she tried strategies, she tried coaches, she spent lots of money to the point that she got herself into $20,000 of debt as a single mother, trying to earn money for her son because she was paying so much to coaches and all the strategy coming out of the kazoo. And she was working 50-hour weeks and nothing worked until she stopped hanging on to the past. Okay? I'm going to stop with Mabel. The past is over. We're going to stop looking at the past. But you girls, like, Mabel's meant to be hilarious. You sort of thought she was sort of fun. But anyway, I'll let you just get a little light up, but just trying to give you a bit of a different story. But anyway, to tell you the truth, my whole life, 32 years, lived exactly the same way with my relationship with money. Didn't change at all. And then 2 years ago, I finally decided that the past was a whole lot of bullshit. And I'm going to tell you about this. The memories that I made was all made up. It wasn't even real. My dad, my mom, they never wanted me to believe any of that stuff, and I didn't have to hang on to it anymore. And I started to believing more in my imagination, and I started to explore, energy and this work of energy. And I'd spent all this time in a strategy realm trying to work so hard to create money, and it just wasn't working no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much I wanted it, no matter how pure my intentions were, no matter how amazing this vision of my business was going to be and how much it was going to serve. It didn't matter. I couldn't break past the past because I was just repeating it and I wasn't going deep enough in the energy space. So I started learning about energy. I started learning about what I'm going to teach you tonight. And I thought I would try this meditation out that I'm going to give you, ladies who've been here. And I gave it a go, and I did no strategy at all the whole month because I was like, I'm done with that. I've worked so hard. It's not working. I've tried 3 years of this. I'm done. I'm going to try this. I kid you not. I focused on $10,000 a month. That was the holy grail of coaching that I wanted for so long and could never get. I didn't matter how hard I worked. It got near it, but never got it. And so I focused on getting $10,000 this month with this meditation. And lo and behold, I didn't do anything else, literally didn't do anything else with my business. The last day of that month, the last call I had, I made exactly $10,000 all up over that month. 10,000 exactly. Love to say that was the end of the story. I believed in energy and bang, then that was it. But no, I didn't. Because the next month I completely thought, no, I can't do that again. That was stuff. I went back to my old ways and I didn't get anywhere. My whole life was just literally up and down around money based on a reflection of exactly what I was thinking and feeling about money. I didn't tell you, but that first year of my business, I was a single mom. I'd just broken up with my husband. I was 6 months pregnant. I was really depressed, suicidal, but I started my business up, did a big healing when my son was 6 weeks old. That first year of my business, I believed that God, the universe, would give me what I got in my job because I just believed it wouldn't let me down. And I would get the exact amount that I used to get in my job
as a single mom starting out a business. And you know what? That year, I did every month get exactly the same amount I used to get in my job. Not necessarily through my business, but somehow it came through the exact amount. January, though, that year, I moved house. I moved away from family, started doubting and started feeling like I wasn't supported. Tell you what happened? Hardly anything made. My whole journey continued to go up and down based on how I thought and felt about money. So I have this $10,000 month from meditating, believing it, fully backing it, have it. And then next month I doubt it again. What happens? I don't have it. It was literally just oscillating like that. Yeah. And then it was pretty much to this day, 2 years ago, that I just really decided enough's enough. I'm done. Like I'm just done. This isn't happening again. And that's when I went all in on these coaches. And I was just like, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how much it takes. I don't care. I'm finished with the same pattern. I'm not repeating it anymore. I'm creating what I've said I'm going to create. And then I'm going to go create other things because I'm sick of focusing on the same problem and never fixing it. And that is when I got into the worst debt in my life because I was paying so much for these coaches. One of the coaches was aligned and one of them wasn't. One of them was a very strong strategy focused coach and telling me to do things that were not intuitively aligned to myself. And so my business had the worst it had ever had. Right after I fully went all decided rung ho, 4 months, no clients, 20 sales calls, all no, got into $20,000 of debt. And that is the month I'm talking about. It's 2 years ago. That was when I decided enough's enough again. And I'm going to go all in the energy. I'm not going to full focus on the strategy. I'm still going to do it, but I'm not focusing on it. I'm going to focus on the energy part because every time I do that, it wins. And every time I don't, it doesn't. And so then from that moment onwards, I made $20,000 that first month. I decided that. And I've never gone backwards for 2 years after a whole lifetime of problems with this. I've never gone backwards again. I've only grown and grown to the point that I've had 100K months and all the things that I've had when I'm working 10-hour weeks as a single mom and looking after my son because he's not at school yet. Phew. I don't know about you, but it's a journey. Tell me what your key takeaway is. Oh. It's been a journey. Anyone want to say? You can put it in the chat if you want. All in. Yes, that's right. How I feel internally is reflected externally. 100%. 100%. You know, if we don't shift it internally, it is going to manifest physically in our bodies or physically in our reality. There was a time, and you may think of these times for you, there was a time when, I'm going to explain a little bit as to why this occurs as well. But there was a time when I was so deeply down a couple of years ago, my garage broke, my heater broke. My heater was broken for 7 weeks or something when I had my son was like a few months old. Like all this crap, you know, have you ever had that when you started to feel really low and all this, and then all of a sudden everything goes wrong all around you, you know? And then maybe you're feeling really high and all this awesome stuff's going. And then all these, like, it happens to me, those men just start coming out of the woodwork and all this stuff starts happening left, right, and center. People, clients, like whatever. I don't know. Think of times that you may have had this. I definitely have. Life is a reflection of where you are coming from. Yeah, 100%. To believe in who you are and what you've got and that people will come. Yes. Our beliefs and the way that we're feeling is very essential. And we're going to break this down and talk into it more. Just starting to happen with things opening up. Awesome. Beautiful, Belle. So I'm going to unpack the pieces that I learned over all of that time to how to create sustainable abundance with ease. And it's not this inconsistent everywhere thing. It's consistently stable. It's constant. It's evolving, elevating, growing. That's what we can create. And I want to show you like how I did that. You guys up down for that? Yeah. After a whole lifetime of, now this is the thing, right? You know, you might hear people talk about money and all of these things in their business. And I had coaches like this too, right? But one thing well, two things, right? One is a lot of the time they grew up with wealth or they had a wealthy job, all these things. So they had this energy of it already. And so It was easy for them to create it. They already believed, they already had the pathways, they already had the thing that they were worthy of this. So that's one issue I had, particularly the last person I signed up with who wasn't an energetic match. The other issue is people can make money, but do you want to have their life? Because the person I signed up with who wasn't a match was working 70-something hour weeks, has kids, but the partner does it all really. They're hardly around. Do you want that life? You know, some of us can make money working all of that, you know, but it's like, I don't want that. I didn't choose to have a business for that reason. I chose to have a business to serve, to love, but then also to have time with my loved ones, to have my family and my freedom. Ooh. I'm just going to mute you guys. If you want to unmute, you can. I need that 10 hours a week with 3 little kids. Yeah. You know, I don't know about you, but I got into business because I love it. I got into business, and I'd love you to think through this now too. Like, why did you get into business? If you are in business, or if you just want to make money in your role, but why? Like, why did you get into it, and why do you want it? Because I wanted it for impact. I wanted it for influence and difference that I could make, you know, and it was a passion purpose of mine. I wanted it for my son so I could spend time with him. I wanted it for my freedom. I wanted it for travel. I wanted it so I had choice on what I did with my life. That's why I wanted it. At the beginning of my business, it was a prison. I got out of a job, which was sort of a prison, and I put myself in another prison with a worse boss myself. He was cracking the whip on me. It wasn't this freedom vision that I had. So, you know, you'll see people, I had 100K a month, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you know, great. But how? How did they do it? Did they do it in the way you want to do it? Did they do all these sleazy tactics to get it? You know, that was another thing. I learned all these strategies, and it was all these gross things I didn't want to do. And it didn't resonate. Love giving their voice and to have, yeah, beautiful. Awesome. Yeah. So think about that. When you're looking at, you know, these pieces, that's all good, Dom. Good. Yeah, if you don't feel aligned, it doesn't work. To the point that when I got these people to support me and it wasn't aligned, it actually did damage, made my business go backwards. When I did it happened twice at least in my business, where I got these people who I thought I'd follow, but actually ended up damaging and making my business go bend down and backwards. So that's a side note. But let's get into these steps. So the first step, there's 6. If I can do the right, 6. So the first one is tune into what you love, or just love. Love. If you're writing notes, just write love. And this step involves really being super clear on what it is that you would love to create in your life. Love, Love. Laugh is a good one too. That could probably be a step. We all can be a little bit too serious sometimes. That's why Mabel came on, to try and, you know, perk up your lives. But so love.
I loved seeing your acting skills coming out there, Miranda.
Mabel's going to come and do some reels, and she's going to go real all in. So you'll see it coming out of it. I used to do acting. I was on Neighbours back in the day. I didn't have Mabel come out then, but, you know. Anyway, going on a side topic. So love. What would you love? What do you want to create? And what would deeply excite you, bring you joy? And it's very important that you really connect deep down into something that's very essential, important, exciting to you, that when you think about it, when you feel it, and think about it right now, right? What would you love? And really tune into the why would you love it as well. And it could be a money amount. It could be a program in your business. It could be a dog. It could be a holiday. Like whoever, it could be anything. Like, what is it that you want to create? It could be anything. But the most important thing is that you want it for its own sake, and you really would love it, and it would really excite you. That the feeling it gives you is just like full body tingles, full joy, full excitement. And so I want to put one little important note in here. For me, money used to work. Like, I used to be able to tune into money and feel that a bit, right? But now, like, and for quite a while, probably majority of this last 2 years, 1.5 for sure, that hasn't lit me up. The money part I talk about because women care about it, but it hasn't been what I've focused on, because what I tune into, what really lights me up, is the women's faces that I tune into that work with me, and I know exactly how they change and transform by the end of working with me. And I see all the things in their lives that are different. And I see that woman that Miranda used to be and how different she is now. And I see that same person going through all of that and what that provides her family and what ripple effect that brings her clients. And I tune into that and it lights me the heck up. Like I literally get full body excited tingles about it. If I try and tune into money now, I'm like, yeah, it's nice, I'm like, but it's not. I can't anchor into it. And so it's really important that whatever it is that you choose, you can really anchor into that and get excited and put a stake in the ground and go, yes, this is what I want. Your whole body's like, yes. Thanks, Melina. Yeah, it has changed you. And there's an example, like seeing someone like that, just focusing on her and seeing her whole life change. Like there's a few of the girls here or watching the replay. Like I just get so excited about it. I literally, truly do. And so whatever it is for you, it needs to be that, because I have tried money, last year and things like that. And it just didn't, I couldn't hook my energy into it. Not to say it may not be for you. You might be able to for certain reasons. You might have things that you really want it to create, because money is neutral. It just creates opportunities and resources. And so that might be true for you. So that's the first thing. And put it in if you want, share, or if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. But tune into what it is that you really deeply love to create. The girls my clients have been doing this work I'm going to share with you and been putting, money amounts and all these things. But yeah, $5,000. One of them said, $5,000 come in the last week just from tuning into it and desiring it and choosing it and asking for it and doing these processes I'm telling you guys about. And then, but others are just having all these crazy opportunities, like finding out they made $100,000 through multiple incomes they didn't even know about in streams. And then again, nothing about money, like getting support in their family, getting support for their children, getting all of this random help coming in that they never normally get to go and do a photo shoot or a massage, or like all these crazy things start creating when we know what we want and we tune into it and we ask and we decide, like, that's it, that's what I want. And this just came to me, like, I found this really colorful feather. I keep seeing feathers everywhere at the moment. Not fully sure exactly what the message is, but I will look into it more. But I saw this really beautiful, colorful, big feather of this parrot. And my son's like, oh, mommy, like, why don't I ever find those ones? I'm like, honey, let's decide that you're going to find it. It's the first time I've ever seen this color. And so I'm teaching him this, like, because again, it's just powerful. We decide it, and we create it. I'll tell you this random experience just as an example before we move on. I was reading this book and doing this little experiment with all this when I was learning about energy. And one of the things it told me is like to just randomly decide something I'm going to see that I just don't ever really see. And so I chose like a white butterfly with speckled yellow, or I don't know. I chose some random thing I don't think I've ever seen the butterfly of, right? And I said, by 24 hours, I'm going to see this white butterfly with little yellow speckled wings. I was about to say feathers, but anyway. All day looking around, then the last 5 minutes of that day, of that 24-hour period, I'm driving into my driveway, windows are down, butterfly that's white with yellow little speckled things flies straight through my car. I mean, how often does that happen anyway? And it's just a silly example, but we are creators, ladies. We are creators. You are a creator. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. You are. The fact is you are. You're human. You're a creator. That's it. You're constantly creating, and you have continually created. If you actually look for the evidence of it, you'll see it all around you. Now, you may create and manifest what you don't want. Because if we don't know how to do these steps, we often create nightmares and things we don't want. I had my husband and I broke up, a really traumatic separation when I was 6 months pregnant. And I know I co-created that because I didn't know the power of manifesting and creation. And I had all of this unconscious stuff that was fearful of that happening, the exact thing that happened, continually thinking about it, continually worrying about all of this stuff. I co-created that with him. And I didn't know that at the time. But we are powerful. We're manifestors, we're creators. And we will either create the life of our dreams when we know how to do it and hone in the skill and we're magical, or we will create, the pain and not getting ever what we want. Either way, you're still a creator and you're a manifester. So sometimes we think, I'm not a manifester, I'm not good at it, it doesn't work for me. It works for you, Miranda, but not me. Or, you're different to me. No, you are equally the same. I was no different. I'm not special. I had told you my story. I've had a whole life of it. It's only been 2 years it hasn't happened, because 2 years have been perfecting the art of manifesting, creating energy, mastering it. Whole rest of my life trying to hustle, trying to strategize, trying to force my way through life did not work. Didn't matter how hard I was trying to push. It was exhausting. It was a hamster wheel. It got me into the same place. I hated it. Have you guys ever felt that before? Just rocking horse, literally all my energy going everywhere and just not getting anywhere. Yeah? Anyone? I'm the only one. Yeah. Few of us. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by transformation. Awesome. Beautiful. So yeah, focus on that. Feathers everywhere. Feathers everywhere. Stuck on flashing. Oh, we've got the same energy, Charlie. Here. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, that's where it came from. Yeah, the Pam Grout one. Yeah, it's awesome. Testing out energy on that. Okay, you ready for number 2? So hopefully you've got a bit of an idea of what it is that you want to focus on creating. There might be a whole list of things. I'd like you to pick one. And I'd love you to pick it for this next month. Pick one. And I would love you to follow me up and tell me how you go with this. It may even come tomorrow or whatever. Who knows? As soon as you start saying what you want, crazy things, quantum things can happen. So it's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm going to call it little truths. Let out the little truths. Let out the little truths. That's the second step. And what I mean by this is, as soon as you, and you would know this before, as soon as you decide that's something I want to create, this is something I deeply want in my life, you will start freaking out about it. Soon as I go into a program I'm going to launch, a partner I want to have, whatever, the way I want my family to be, whatever it is. Did I read my mind? Did I read your mind? Yeah, I'm good at that. You should know that by now, Claire. Or just started to forget. Yeah, as soon as you, and this is an awesome thing, right? We're like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. Like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to, create all this stuff. But as soon as you're unconscious, your ego gets in it. It's like, nah, you can't do that. Nah, who are you to do that? I'll get Mabel back out again if you want. But, berating you, putting you down, poo-pooing the idea, the devil's advocate, the skeptic, like all blazing comes out. The bigger it is that the thing you want, the deeper you desire it, the more loudly this little bastard will be. The louder it will be. And so I call it little truths because it does feel true in your body. Like you feel like it's true. When we've had a whole life of scarcity being put into us, or, do the safe job, don't go out for your dream, or money doesn't grow on trees, or, whatever it is, like money will make you selfish and greedy, and it will, change who you are, like whatever it is, everything that you've been told, like, and the lies you've started to believe and about you and money and life and the universe, like it will all come out. The deeper you want the thing, the bigger it is to you, the more important, the more resistance you're going to be met with. So sometimes we're like, oh, that means I'm not meant to have it. No, that's not true. It's all right, Charlie. It just means you are meant to have it. If you have more resistance to it, it actually means that is for you. If you deeply desire it, but you have a whole lot of resistance to it, exactly where you're meant to be. When I launched Alchemy, my program, it's my big program, my 7-month one, or it's going to be 7-month the next round. I can tell you that much that came up, the amount of doubt, fears, all the things. And I had to emotionally alchemize, do this work of alchemy on myself to take me from all of those fears up into the place I could create from. And that higher vibration place. And it brought up so much because I deeply desired it. I wanted the intimacy with the women. So why little? Little, Terry, because the next step will make sense, but little because it's not true. It's your inner child's little fears, really. That's really what it is. All these fears, all these things, all these worries, it's like that inner child, the unconscious trying to hold you back, trying to keep you safe, trying to, so it's the little part of you, that little scared part trying to pull you back. If that answers your question, Terry. So you need to start to face it, to see it, to feel it. You need to really do that with this step. Because often we run away, often we get scared, often we try and avoid it. We numb it, we eat food, we get on Netflix, we get on the Facebook, like whatever it is, we try and run away from it. But you need to face it. You need to let it out. You need to get into it. My son just before bed, hurt himself and had a little cry, and I said, let it out, honey, let it out, because when we pent it up, that's when the problems occur. Try and hold it all together. Are we on step 1, love? No, this is step 2, darling. You might have dropped off. So step 1 was love. Step 2 is let out the little truths. And as kids, we naturally let out all of this stuff. We talk about it, we feel it, we don't suppress it, but then we're told to stop crying, stop this, stop, and we're told to suppress and hold it in. And that's when all these issues come about. All these doubts and things staying in your system, you cannot create what you want to create if your energy is all in this. So you need to clear it out. It's like all the junk that's blocking you from what you want. You got to clear it out. Okay. I'm going to give you 30 seconds before we move on. Write down a couple of things. Start to tune in now, just briefly. With that thing you want, what are all the doubts you have about it? And why you can't have it, because what? And just start writing a couple of things out just to get a bit of an insight into this. And you don't have to put it here if you want. You can put it on your space, or you can write it here. Up to you. I can't because. The don't know how is a big one. Don't know how is a big one. So it's a common one. Don't know how, I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy of it, never done it before, might lose my shit, I can't handle it, I can't cope. Yep, it's debilitating, yeah. Or, money will run out, there won't be enough, yep. Or it will go good for a time and then it won't. I know I've had that one before. There was times where I've had this great bandwagon of all this stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I can't sustain it. Yeah, I'm going to lose family or time with family. Or even there can be fears I know I had to face this one, is I'm going to be judged, or the people that I used to hang around or whatever, I'm going to be judged, or they're going to disconnect from me, or they're going to think I've changed, or whatever, There's a whole list of things as to why we may not want to go forward and what may be blocking us. I can't because I'm scared of being successful, of showing my family that you can have it all and not work in it. Yeah. And this is the thing, when we have come in a family and it's all this hard work and money doesn't come easily and all this stuff, we feel like we're abandoning them or we're disconnecting from them. And again, it's that unconscious inner child. You consciously are oh, I'm an adult, it doesn't matter. But no, that part of you does really care about that. Well done, ladies. It's great. I'm over money running through my fingers. Yes, that's a big thing. That's a big feeling. It just is sand and it just comes through. And I do all this hard work and I'm doing all of this motion, but then I'm a sieve, just straight in, straight out. Yeah. So we just need to let this come out and really see it. Okay. Step 2. Step 3, ready? Step 3 is tune into the big truth. Tune into the big truth. And the big truth is what is the ultimate truth? You know, what is the ultimate truth about all this stuff that you're fearing, what you're thinking about? Like if you, and a great way you could ask, just, is this true for everyone? Is this the ultimate truth? You know, is this universal truth that is always running through everyone's fingers? Is that true? No, there's a bunch of people that's not true for. You know, that you have to work hard and your family are going to reject you. No, there's a bunch of people that's not true for. You know, you can go through every single thing we just said and go, is it ultimately true? Is it true for everyone? And a great way I love to look at it is through, is it true for my son? Because I have the most love and unconditional love for him. And he has taught me so much about how to unconditionally love myself. And whenever I'm getting stuck in this stuff in myself, I go, is it true for him? And I can instantly see what's really true. Is it true that he shouldn't have money because he'll become selfish and evil? No. Is it true it's going to corrupt him? Is it true that he's not going to ever have it and be able to keep creating it? There's going to be a good time and a bad time. Is it true that it's too good to be true for him? No. Yeah. And if you don't have kids, whoever you most like connect with, you know, that unconditional love for, like look through that eyes, because it's very pure and it's very easy to see the truth when you do that. So I love you just to spend again a little bit of time. I'll give you 30 seconds a minute. Look at what you've written, tune into what you've felt, and just ask yourself, is it ultimately true? And if you still believe it is, that's cool. You can say that if you want. I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. Do you want to share which one it is, Terry? Like which one you think is ultimately true for everyone and a fact of life, if you want. If you don't have to if you don't want to. The biggest aha. Awesome. Good job, Dal. Put it whichever ones you reckon are true. I'm not sure how to see I am over money running through my fingers. So you'd ask, is that ultimately true for everyone? Is that everyone's experience that money runs through their fingers? No, because I know a lot of people it's not. So that means there is some way that you can work out how to not do that again and how to stop that energy, because that's an energy. We all have an energy with money, and this is going into a little bit more, but you will have a set minimum and a set maximum of what you're allowed to get to in your savings and things, and then what you're allowed to get to in your earnings, and or you have set things like that. So some people's minimum where they'll never let the bar go is become homeless or something. They're like, no, I'd never do that. And for me, when I got into 20K debt, that was the lowest I'd ever gone, but I wasn't homeless and things like that. And I was still paying my bills and, you know, all the things, right? So there's a minimum. It's like, okay, I can get into some debt, but I'm never going to not pay my bills and like not be able to like have a house for my son. And there's a minimum that I set. And then there's a maximum that my bank account, you know, used to stay at and not go above until I did this energy work. And so it's all energy. The fact of energy of money running through your fingers, that is an energetic, and we're going to talk into this in a few things. We're going ahead of ourselves. Actually, we're coming into it now. Okay, so number 4 is your vibration. Number 4 is your vibration. Glad that was solved, Terry. Getting the money codes, Charlie. It's good. It's taken me a long time to see this stuff. So yeah, glad that you're getting it. So your vibration, you have a vibration, a frequency, and energy to how much you allow yourself to receive, to how much debt you allow yourself to get into, to how much you save, to how much you invest and spend, like for all of these things. And you have it for everything. It's not just money. You have it for love, how much love you allow yourself to receive. You have it for how many gifts you allow yourself to receive, like your health, you have it for how much your health, how healthy, what weight, your shape, that you have a frequency and a vibration of that, and a minimum and maximum of that. It is constant. We are made up of energy. You know, I'm not going into the full quantum physics of it, but we're basically, if you look into an atom, it's like a basketball in a way, that there's a tiny little bit of matter and the majority of it is air, is energy. That is the same as us. Like we're looking around the world and it's all physical matter. It's actually, majority of it is energy. And so no one told my weight, has it? Yep. It has a maximum and a minimum. Literally everything has these energetic. In a relationship, what tolerance you have to bullshit and whatever, you have an energy around that. And and you start looking at this, you'll see patterns everywhere. The way you're treated and all of these things, it will be, and not just with your relationship and your close partner and your kids, it will be your audience, online, anything. You have an energy around it all. This is crazy, girls. If you can start to get to this, it's like the Matrix. Like, here, do you want this pill? Which one do you want? Like, it's the whole world. But when you tap into this, that's when you can change everything very quickly and easily, when you understand these patterns. Because we often try and force and physically shift and change these things, and we're trying to work on that matter level, when majority, 99 point blah, blah, blah percent is matter energy. It's not. That's why strategy and things diets don't work with weight. That's why strategy doesn't work with business alone. It does work to a degree, but it's a 10% degree of a whole 90% of a whole lot of other things. So you have an energy around money, and I did too. And it was like a maximum of this in my bank account. I was allowed to get this. I was allowed to get paid this amount in my business because that's what I got paid as a teacher and when I was in my old jobs. And I had to do a lot of work to stretch myself to be able to earn 10K months, to earn 20, to earn 30, to earn 100. You don't know what I had to do to stretch my energy frequency to be able to do that and hold it. And not just the money, the women, how many women I could hold in a container deeply, intimately. That requires energy. And so you're sitting there trying to do all this stuff and trying to make it, but your energy cannot hold what you're trying to call in. You're not vibrating at a match for that frequency. And this might all be blah, blah, woo, woo, jaja. And you're just like, what? This is French. But I'm going to show you something that will help you see this as an example. And some of you have seen me do this before, but it's just an awesome example. And Joe, you probably have known this one from the book too. But I want to show you this, right? So this is, can you see these little pole things? They're not super straight. These are coat hangers, okay? Now, I am going to tune into the frequency and energy of emotion. And I'm firstly going to tune into higher vibration emotion, which means, you know, joy, peace, love, all of these things. And you're going to watch and see what happens. And then I'm going to tune into something else and you're going to watch and see what happens, okay? And this is a representation of what energy does to you, right? Okay, so I am so, hang on, sorry. I'm not going to move my hands. I'm just trying to get them set up straight. I'm so excited about opening things up with, you know, lockdown things. Like, I am so excited about traveling, like flipping. I'm going to be able to travel soon. Like, this is just the next level thing. I cannot wait to take Harry, my son, away. I literally cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting. So that's what's happening when I'm in a higher vibration and tuning into that, right? It's opening, it's expanding, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. And we tune into something as a lower frequency, like shame or guilt or fear or I just still can't believe that it's been like nearly, for Melbourne, like 2 years of this crap though. Like 2 years of being locked in a house, basically. Like, we're hardly been able to go out and do anything. And I just, like, how much of that time has been lost? My son's life, all of these things starting to contract and cross over and go in. Did you see it? Went zit and then zit. Tell me what you think. If you've seen it before, I get it. Try to make a mini version. Maybe right back just started hurting. Oh, interesting. What do you think, ladies? Because we are always opening our energy up and opening ourselves to receiving, becoming a match to receive whatever it is that we're wanting, money or whatever it is. Or we are contracting and closing and getting in resistance and struggle and resisting the very thing that we want to. And you just saw, I did not move that. It was just my energy field opening, expanding, or contracting and closing. And I kid you not, when I do this work in this energy, this is why I can work 10-hour weeks. I do this vibration work. I spend a lot of my time doing that in my week. That is why, bang for buck, I do a tiny little thing, put one post out or whatever, and then, it just goes crazy. All these people flock in. That is why I can do it. Money and abundance comes in because I'm a match and a frequency of that. Before, when I used to work 50-hour weeks with my newborn son, when my son was new, I tried 50-hour weeks, I was closed, contracted, working, hustling, trying really hard, but deeply in shame and insecurity of myself, and that I couldn't really serve anyone. I was no one. I was a loser coach. I wasn't a success coach. That's how I felt. I was afraid it wouldn't work. I was afraid I would get into no money and debt with my son. I was guilty of spending money on coaches and then not making anything. All this stuff, the cocktail of my emotions was swirling around. That was blocking clients and things from coming to me. I'd start to open, start to feel a bit better, then freak out again, and bang, started to get some business, and then it would close again. Yeah? Do you see? Vibration is really important. I love this, and it's going to try it. Do muscle testing. Yeah, awesome. Seen it 3 times now, and it gets you every time. Awesome, Melina. Aren't both important for honesty and breakthrough? What do you mean, Dal?
So to feel all of those emotions, how do you, if you push them down and don't acknowledge them, then how do we get to that space where we have the confidence and the freedom?
Yeah. It's a really important question.
Yeah.
So step 2 was to acknowledge it, feel it, let it out.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So and that's really great distinction you've made there. We do not want to just shut it down and stop it. We don't. So yeah, really important. You said that. We need to be open. We need to let it out or whatever, but we also don't want to stay there and that's it. We also then need to tune into the high vibration that's going to be a match for what we want. If I want to call in a soulmate, I need to be open to love and be matching that level of love for myself and deeply embodying that, feeling it in my body and being open and knowing I'm worthy of receiving it. Or else no one's going to be attracted, or I get them and then it's just going to go to kaput because I don't feel it. And so they try and love me and I'm like, what's wrong with you? How do you love me? And so it will repel. We are always attracting or repelling with our energy, people or money or anything, health, anything. And so the meditation I'm giving you for tuning in tonight is going to support you with this very thing, the vibration piece, the frequency piece of what it is that you want to call in. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Good. So that is what are we up to now? So we've done love, we've done little truth, big truth, vibration. Awesome. That's step 4. Love it. Awesome. Let's do 5 and 6 because I just saw the time. So step 5 is wisdom. Step 5 is wisdom. It's action. It's inspired action. That month I tried to create my business with that meditation and made the 10K. It's it happened, but I was like, no action at all. No strategy whatsoever. Not true. We do still need, I could sit here all day, I'm meditating for some hot man to be my soulmate to come through the door. And look, it could happen, or probably more likely I do that. And then I go outside and meet some men. That's probably going to be a little bit easier to potentially, not saying it can't happen, but we need to do all the energy side, but then we need to take some action. Now, the big thing here, though, is that you need to be aligned, because what we've done all prior to this is get ourselves aligned, and then we take some action. That time I was working 50-hour weeks, the reason I was doing it and doing all the strategy and getting nowhere, literally that 4 months ago I was in debt. I was doing everything they said to do, but my energy was really off. I was deeply insecure, deeply uncertain, didn't think I was valuable. Getting on a sales call, the people could sense it. They knew, even though I was trying to pretend, they knew. We can tell. They're bullshit detectors. We can tell. They knew. And so that's all right, Amy. I can send you the replay and you've got to the juicy bits. That's all good. But that's why you can take all the action you want. But if it isn't aligned, it's not inspired, it's not coming from this place, it's sort of wasted in some ways. Whereas you get all of that ready, all the aim stuff ready, and you get aligned and you would take inspire thing from there, it's like you are just like a sniper. You know, you're stupid. Good. You know, I don't like the way it's sniper because it's like gun, you know, but Cupid, you just like aim for what you want, you know, get them done, string it in. So that's the difference. Instead of just like before with me, I was like, you know, just going everywhere. And it's exhausting, tiring. Yeah. So you can think for this thing right now what you want. And I know I haven't given you a heap of time. I would encourage you after this workshop or tomorrow, as close to possible at this time, start to really put some practice around what I'm teaching, because I'm trying to give you some time, but obviously for the time's sake too, it's hard to just do a full application tonight too. But I'd spend some time looking at what then comes through once you've done the meditation and things like that as well. Last piece, number 6, is to receive. Receive. And this last piece here on receiving, you know, so often, I mean, there's heaps I could say about this, but so often we are really shut off, you know, because we might be trying to do all, I know for me, when we get into that hustle strategy, go mode, we're so panicky and shut off from what we actually want that we just push it away. I just got this image of like a ball in the water, you know, those balls in the water. You're just trying to grab a ball in the water, and every time you're like panicking, flapping around, it just pushes further. Like that's what we often do because we're not open to receiving. We're sitting there trying to figure it out and frantically paddle around, right? So again, that energy of being receiving, open, a bit more relaxed about it is really important. And also, it's when you actually get what you want, firstly, acknowledge it. And secondly, enjoy it. And I know this seems really simple, but I can tell you when I made my first 100K month, I enjoyed it for about 2 minutes. And then I started going, oh, blah, 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 blah. Freaking out about this and that and whatever at the start. Yeah, receiving it out. I mean, this energy, and that's another sort of thing, Charlie, but this energy is about actually letting it in. Like, you know, we could say all we want. I want love and I want money and I want all this stuff. But, you know, often at this point, when we start to get towards what we want or it starts to happen, that little truth stuff I told you about before, that stuff starts coming up again. That freaking out, the fear of success, like all of that. Hang on, this is too good to be true, or it's all going to go away, or oh no, this isn't even real. Like when one of my clients realized she'd made 100K in this last year with his work and with his model, but she didn't even see it. She hadn't even noticed it. And this is the energy. We don't sit and actually receive and see and look at like what we've done, created. Like it's a very important energy, because otherwise, and this was me, I just kept going to the next thing. What else do I want to create? What? And again, you like think of an inner child or something. What is that telling them? Like, oh, well, you didn't do enough this time. Go do something else. Like, it's not giving them a break. Like, stop and enjoy it. Smell the roses. Receive it. Enjoy it. Soak it in. Spend some of it on yourself. Like all of these things, you know. It's that energy of receiving is really important. I love this food adage. Having a pizza with friends is better than eating a salad alone. Love it. True. So ladies, for right now, put in your key takeaway at the moment. What's the key piece of value? We've just shared a whole lot of stuff. What is the key piece of value that you've taken away so far? Key piece. Beautiful. Yeah, check out notes and things like that. Okay, what do we got here? It all sounds so easy when you say it. Yes, it can, Terry. And sometimes like our mind's like, it's too good to be true. Or, I've been told I need to work. And I know I was talking to someone the other day and they've been told by the strategy people, was like, how do you expect to, have a business with this and money with this and not do this part and not do this part and not chat sequence and not all this. And she's like, oh, I don't know, because she doesn't want to do it. And she's like, basically at the point where I was like, I don't want to keep going my business if I have to do all these things and that's the only way to create it. And I was talking to her, I'm like, that doesn't have to be, I don't do any of that. And I do. Like, I don't do anything I don't want to do in my business. Nothing. I love everything I do. Anything I don't want to do, I don't do it. So you don't have to create a business doing a whole bunch of stuff you don't want to do. When you understand the energy and you master it, it sounds easy because, like I've got to a point of more mastery of it over these years of doing it. And there's a lot of different, again, I've given you as literally the most I've probably ever given in a workshop, like a free workshop before. I've tried to give you as much as I physically can in this short time. I've not held anything back. I've not been like, oh, I've got a little trick up my sleeve, I'm going to hold that one. Like I've literally just given you what I could. But also this is 6 years of my life and my work in this space. And I'm trying to give it to you in 60 minutes. Like I can't get all the nuances and all the pieces. But it is easy when you know the code and you know how to tap it. It is. And you know how to master it. The issue is people don't go far enough to do that and learn it. And then they just go, oh, well, I did this thing from when we ran a 60 minute and I just didn't work for me. So then I can't manifest. It's like, no, you just haven't figured it out yet. You haven't got to the mastery of it yet. It doesn't mean you can't do it. And that is something it really got in my way for a long time. The first few years of my business, I would think these other people can do it. I can't. No, that's not true. It's not personal. It's structural. You just haven't figured out the missing code piece that you have. You may have 2 bits, but you've got 5 all up you need to do, and you may not have the others yet. That's all it is. As soon as you get it, you are the same. You're the same. If I can do it, you can do it. We're exactly the same. We're human, which means we both can. Energetic minimums and maximums. Yeah, awesome. Your vibration energy around why things happen and not happen, are happening and not happening. Yes, beautiful, duh. Tune into what you love. Beautiful. Love deeply, love truly. The rest of the steps will come. Yes. We are creators. Yes. Go create. Beautiful. Key takeaways: how important my vibration is, and I am matching what I desire. Am I letting in what I want to receive? Yeah, awesome. It's more about energy and value of it all, not empty numbers. Yes. Yes. It's not personal. It's structural. It gets you. Yeah, that's right. I'm expressing my hands, am I? Because I'm not using PowerPoint. I've got to sort of like entertain you with these little magic boys, Anyway, so yes, it isn't personal. It is structural. And, for my whole life, I believed that it was me that couldn't do it. And I thought I was different and I just couldn't and others could and they were favorites and I wasn't, like all this bullshit I had. So if I can create what I have, and I was a single mom, mostly trying to work 10-hour weeks with my son, deeply going through a very painful, traumatic divorce, in the middle of all of that, trying to recover from that and have a business. If I can do that, you can. You can do it. There just might be some pieces missing. That's it. But I'm no different to you. None of us are any different. If anyone you see is creating what they desire, see yourself as the same. Because sometimes, and I used to have this, I'd get jealous and I'd compare. That is because, and I felt threatened, it's because I didn't think I could and they could and I couldn't. That isn't true. Now I see people wherever I want to be and I'm like, they're models. I'm like, oh, exciting. That means I can learn what they have. I just have to hang out with them and then I will figure it out too. Very different. So ladies, that's the core of what I wanted to share with you tonight. Now, I want an invitation of an opportunity. If anyone would like to go deeper into this, am I open to, allowed to share something if you want to go any deeper? I got permission to do that. So Miranda Marriott, have created, with beautiful inspired action and energy, this masterpiece of a program that I call Alchemy. And if you've said anything about me, you've probably seen a little video, image or something of it. It's my baby. Alchemy is a 7-month immersive container where we go through the 5 pillars of creating your life and business of your dreams. There are 5 key pillars. We've looked into tonight, one of them slightly like money. So Alchemy 1.0 is the best decision of life. I love it. It's so fun. So we've just looked at money and the energy of money, and there are 6 pieces to that. Now, we've touched on it, but we can go a lot deeper, and we do go a lot deeper in the program around practices, activations, meditations, all the things. And so there is the alchemy of money. There is the alchemy of consciousness that helps you shift to a super conscious state, which is the very pillar of how I've created all I have and how I've gotten out of that horrible circumstance I was in and just changed my life around in these last 2 years. I've had exponential growth. It isn't because of my human Miranda, it's because of my super conscious. And we look at how can you actually tap into that and create a full miracles, magic in your life from that. We look at the alchemy of energy and emotions. And that thing you were saying, Carolyn, about how do I feel the deeper stuff and the darker stuff and move through that, and then the high, like we look at all of that very deeply because there is a whole process to that. We look into the alchemy of business. And when I say business, there's 2 parts. There's the alchemy of intuitive business, so super conscious led, miracle making led business. And then we look into strategy and the actual smart business sense, because yes, that still matters. And I've done a lot of amazing strategy in the years, but it's about it being aligned and beautiful, servant-hearted strategy, which is what I teach. There's no fluff. There's no yucky stuff. And it's the quickest, easiest way too, because I, again, spend 10 hours a week. And majority of the women who come to me want to have a freedom business also. They love it, but they don't want to be sitting behind a computer 24/7. So that's the process over the 7 months. We go through all that. There's sisterhood, there's transformation. It's magical. It's amazing. So that's alchemy. Now, if you want the information on that, I've just very briefly told you about that. If you'd like to know more about it or open a conversation, I'm not someone who hones everyone down or like, there's no manipulate, nothing. I only tune into the energetic of it, of who's right. And you also tune into that and whether it's right for you or not. If you want info though, you want to know more, put in yes, please in the comments and I will give you some more info on that. So put that in there. And the other thing I just wanted to mention as well is that for you to know, I also run shorter, small programs. So there is an alchemy of money that is a small, short 1 month one as well. So if you right now can't think about, 7 months, all that sort of stuff, you can say yes, please. And I can also connect you with something it's going to really hone in on this, or there's other small things that I do as well. And so, yeah, put in yes, please on that. Terry, it is one-on-one and group. Alchemy is itself is one-on-one and group together. It's all inclusive. And at this point, you're not saying like, yep, I want to go in. It's just, I would like to know more. That's it. And so, yeah, if you want to, you can put that in, or you can, send me a direct message, or you can message me on Facebook also. But yeah, I can definitely just send you some insight on info on it. Yeah, awesome. I'll send it to you, ladies.